In Crystal here, known as skuldsbane all over the internet. If you're new here, hi! Thank you for pressing play, spending some time with me. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate your patience while I have life exploding in my face still and did not get to upload anything for about a month now. My fault. 100% my fault. Can blame nobody but me. Thank you for your patience. This is Flosstube number, I believe, 12. I don't know. I've lost track. But it's a Flosstube, so I'm going to be talking about cross-stitching and things cross-stitching related. I have a stack because it's been a month. So I'm going to jump in, get started on that. There will be life updates and stuff at the end, as usual. So let's go. All right. First thing I have to show you is Autumn is as Joyful by Lila Studio. This is part of Stitch Along. This is where I am at. And I will be getting thumbnails and actually putting them up. So that should be showing up right above the stitching here. I am doing this on, excuse me as I look at my notes. I'm doing this on, I don't know, 37 count Cloudburst Legacy Linen. And I'm using a combination of Anchor and DMC flosses. So the colors are not quite what everybody else's are, but I actually really like all the dark colors in. I put in a bunch of critters, and I got an entire element put in and the letter A. Other than that, I can't remember where it was the last time I showed you because it's been a month. According to Pattern Keeper, I am at 12.84% with 3,443 stitches in. So there is that one. There will also be crackling and zipping and things as I put things in their bags, or else I will never find the bags again because I'm a hot mess. Anybody who's watched more than one of my videos knows I'm just, everything is everywhere. This is my life. So next I was working on Lady of Mystery. That is what it will look like at the end. I'm doing this on a mystery linen that I got as part of a pack. But it's this nice, it's a lovely lime green. And I've just been working on that top order to get, that is pretty much the entire width. On this side over here, there is some more that will be coming out to the side closer to the bottom. But I've been enjoying working with those silks so much. Y'all, this is the first time I have worked with silks. I'm in love. I'm in love. But I'm using all the called fors. And the linen, like I said, it's a lime green. I cannot figure out the lighting in this apartment because it's a cave. But it is a nice lime green. It came from Forbidden Fiber Co. as part of a sampler pack. They had a sale or something, and I just bought like a sampler pack. And this is one of them that came with it. The next project is Santa Jaws, and it's actually on another one of the fibers from there, or the linens from there. This is, I believe, the 32 count. It's the called for, whatever the called for is. It's a project bag that I made. I never did get around to putting any project bags up on Etsy because I didn't get that far. All right, and like I said, the next one is Santa Jaws. Oh, I forgot to tell you the Autumn is as Joyful. That is part of the hashtag Autumn is as Joyful Sal, put on by the Higa Stitcher, and the other one who I watched and I can never remember her name. I'm so sorry. Yeah. This is my life. But since hashtags are not really working on Instagram anymore because Instagram did what they do, I don't really know how to track that. Unfortunately, I'm going to continue using the hashtags when I do put anything in. I know hashtags are working on YouTube. Not that they're really searchable, but it's a little bit. It's something. This is Santa Jaws, or the Great White Christmas. This is the Santa Jaws Sal, and it is Great White Christmas by Boomerang Stitches. I'm stitching this the opposite way than what you're told to do in the pattern. In the pattern, you're supposed to have a light background and dark colored stitching. I am not. This is a 40 count, and like I said, this is another one from the bag from Forbidden Fiber Co. And I'm using toasted marshmallow. This is 40 count. I have problems working on this. I cannot see it. I cannot see it for squat. Last time you saw it, I had gotten to about the deck of the boats. So I have worked all of from about I can't about there down, about the deck of the boats. And that's a little bit of teeny tiny. We're starting to see on this side, that is the top of the G, where it says Great White Christmas. Right there. That is the top of the G there, to give you an idea of where things are at. I'm definitely not going to get this done in time to give to the man thing this Christmas, which he's fine with because he's also been on this ride with me, so such is the way of things. That's the bag because that's what this is being stored in for now. All right. Next thing that I worked on, or that I have, this is not the order that I worked on them by any stretch, but this is the order that they got pulled out of the bag that I got this bag from JoAnns at Halloween, and every time I work on something, I just randomly pull a project to work on off of my shelf, and that's what I work on for the day or week or until I put it down. Normally just a day. And then after I've worked on it, I put it in that bag so that everything is all together so that I can just grab the bag and get ready to set up for Flosstube. There we are. So the next one that I pulled out of the bag is part of the hashtag Lena Ova Sal. It is the Lena Ova Dracula, which I'm going to put up here. And this is something that Laura Stitching by the Shore and I were hosting. And again, hashtags are not working. I'm still using them in YouTube. Fingers crossed that they still work. So if you are participating in the Lena Ova Sal, absolutely tag me, tag Laura. We want to see what you're working on. I want to see what you're working on. I have followed so many stitchy people over the last few months. It's incredible. And I just don't have enough time to like and comment on everything that I would like to like and comment on. There's not enough hours in the day. But this is where I'm at. I went ahead and instead of continuing work down here, I did a little bit down here. But I went ahead and started in the text in this box and doing the text. And it says, I believe, I want you to believe in the things that you cannot. It's not showing very well, but this is on Mystic Fabrics Olympia. It's an Opal Lugana 32 count. And the floss is from Night Stalker's Calling, and the colorway is Hocus Pocus. You cannot see the sparkle in there at all, but you can see that nice black and red in the Hocus Pocus. I am so excited for this one. I love the pattern. I love Dracula. The man thing loves Dracula. It's just a thing. It's a thing. According to keep folding. According to Pattern Keeper, I am at 15.22% with 5,611 stitches in it. That doesn't seem right. I will check again at some point. Check again next time. Pull it out to work on it. Let's be honest. Okay. I've also been talking about doing stockings for 5 of us. 5 stockings. 1 for myself, 1 for the man thing, 1 for each of his parents, and 1 for his sister. So the next one that I'm pulling out, this is the one for the man thing. I apologize for the glare. They're all dimensions kits. And this is the one that he chose for himself. It is the Sleigh Ride at Dusk kit. I did not get very far from what you saw last time. And I've been working up in the sky and getting some of that dimension filled in around the moon. And this is the whole thing. I did a center start and worked out to the edge. And then you can kind of see where I did the outline in pencil. Kind of. Again, the lighting is not the best, so it's hard to see, but and I do that so that I can count off of the edges and know where I am in the pattern. It's a lot easier to work on. But I did all of that fill in here. I finished up the dark blue and did some of the fill in of the sky around where the moon is going to be. It's coming along. My goal is to have all 5 stockings done so that we can hang them next year at my in-laws' house, because that's where we celebrate. We cannot all fit in this little apartment. So the celebration is always at their place. Which is fine. One day I will not be in this little bitty apartment. Today is not that day. Tomorrow's not looking good either. All right, next. My very first long dog that I've been working on. This is Pavane for These Times. That is my clock. But this one I have been working on. Oh, where is it in my... I have my book. Let's see if I can find it so that I have the information on the fabric and stuff. Why is it? Did I pass it somewhere? Yes, probably. Can't find it. Cool. Cool. I believe this is another one of the 37 count legacy linens. I don't know for sure. I have forgotten. But this is being done 1/2, and it's actually being done with a variegated quilting thread. Now, this is the entire width of the pattern. Last time you saw it, I was over here somewhere. I believe I was on this element. So I finished this element and a little bit of the edge here, and I started this element here. This is also half the height. This is the entire fabric, so that's going to be about the size of it. I left myself way too much space, but that's okay. It'll give me plenty of work with when I do finishing. This one, I have been really surprised at how relaxing this one is to work on. I thought it would be much more difficult and I wouldn't enjoy it, but no, I've been actually all about working on this one. It's been better for me than I ever would have expected mentally. I have no idea where my bag went for that. Cool. Cool. I'll find one. Excuse me a moment. It is 10:30. This is my first cup of coffee. Also, my laptop is about to run out of juice. I will be right back. I need to plug it in. Right. So, sorry about that. I also had to move my little table, turned a couple of extra lights on because it's suddenly getting cloudy. There's stuff going on here. My life. That's okay. It's okay. Oof. Okay. Next is Sleepy Hollow. This is by Raven Stitchcraft. I was actually working on this for Laura Stitching by the Shore's pumpkin birthday sale. I worked on it on Halloween because it does have a pumpkin. Heyo. I was working on filling in some more of the browns in the horse and just filling in some of the gaps that had not been finished yet, not been completed yet. So I worked quite a bit on the horse and down here in the rocks and stumps. It's coming along fairly well. I'm using, I believe this is 18 count Ada. It looks like 18 count. It's got to be 18 count. 2/1 with all of the called for DMC. Oh, 16 count, sorry. How is that 16 count? I don't know. But I have it written down as 16 count, whatever. Again, by Raven Stitchcraft. According to Pattern Keeper, I am at 61.54% complete with 17,993 stitches put in so far. I'm kind of proud of this one. It looks pretty darn good to me. Look at that. This one I am specifically doing for the man thing. I am not a headless horseman, Sleepy Hollow, not my do. But he is a huge fan. We're those creepy people. We like the spooky stuff. I was actually tangent. I was at JoAnns a couple weeks ago, and I ran into somebody who actually is local here and runs a YouTube channel. It's one of those ghost hunting channels, and I was like, I follow your channel. You haven't posted in like 8 months. And she's like, yeah, I got married. Oh, that's a thing that happened. But we were standing in line at the cutting table, and there was one person at the cutting table, and it was during one of those huge, I think it was like the Black Friday sale thing that weekend, and just everything was everywhere, and there were people with like 20 bolts of fabric being cut. So we struck up conversations with people in line around us. It was great. This is what happens when you're way too friendly for your own good. Don't do that at home, kids. Next one is another Lena Ova. This is actually one of them that started the sale to begin with. This is my influencing. This is Lena Ova Mary Poppins. I'll put the picture up here. There are quite a few people who are doing this one. There's one person that I've been seeing on Instagram who is, they're using a variegated, almost a purple color on kind of a peachy fabric, and it's just stunning, but they're light years ahead of where I am. But this is where I'm at. I have Bert. I've been working down more of the, let me go ahead and fold this. working down in this area, because I think it was like up here last time we saw it. So I've done all of this. This border of the next piece, the next square, has been worked on. Mainly the border, because I'm trying to do the border as I go. Number one, so that I know where I'm at. And number two, because if I don't, I will never finish the border and it will be an abandoned project. And I don't want it as an abandoned project just because it's adorable and I love it. This is being done on Fiber on a Whim 16 count pistachio Aida, 2/1, and I'm using the DMC 939. According to Pattern Keeper, I am at 18.53% with 7,616 stitches in it. And then I'm also keeping in the same project bag because that's how it ended up. I am keeping another project. And this is Sampler 86, 2x2 stitch art. It's coming really close to finished, y'all. All 4 of the corners are done. And I actually started working, it's hard to see because of the color of the floss. Right there in that center medallion, I started working on that. Now this is being done, this is on a fabric by Jackson Fabric Arts. This is one of the hemp fabrics. They're super, super soft. Like, I want to get a hold of some of them and like make a shirt out of it. It's that soft. It's absolutely gorgeous. The other half down here, I'm actually going to do another one of the 2x2 samplers, and I'm going to make it into a pillow cover. And the floss is one that I dyed myself. It's variegated. I dyed myself. And I think I'm going to use some of that floss, some more of the variegated that I dyed myself for the other one as well. But this is sitting at 97.16%, 14,068 stitches put into it. Go me. This is another one of the project bags that I made. I will eventually get around to making more and putting them up. I promise. I've also been I've been noticing a lot of people, the store is closing, I'm not making patterns anymore. And I can understand why, but also I'm also wondering if people would be interested if I started making patterns and drafting patterns. If that's something that you would like to see, I could theoretically throw together a couple of like little freebies, one-offs, just as a sample of what I have in mind, and then go from there. If that's something y'all would like to see, let me know. Comment. Also, like, subscribe. I need my channel to grow, yo. No, for real. If you're not subscribed, please do. If you like what you're seeing here, please leave a comment. I love commenting and reading comments. I'm trying to remember to comment more on people's videos as I watch them. Sometimes I just don't, because usually if I'm watching a Flosstube, I'm sitting there. Ooh, oh, that's nice. That's what I do. All right. Next, Erica Michaels, Be Like a Crow. Let's see, that way. Good. If you cannot read it, it says, be like a crow. Collect shiny things. Hop happily down the street for no apparent reason. Scream loudly when you see your friends. I'll cover my face so you can see it better. And I got this off of 123 Stitch, and I just went ahead and, you know, they've got the little suggestions when you put a chart or a pattern into your basket. They've got the, here's all the everything you're going to need. Just click the button and buy everything. And I did. So everything is all the called for everything. Exactly as it is in the pattern. This is where I've gotten. Look at that. It is so good. And it's like it's still got the sticker on the fabric, but this is all the fabric. So I mean, this guy, it's a little bitty dude, but I love him. I love him so much. I'm gonna get a frame. It's gonna be framed. It's gonna hang on my wall. I don't really do a lot of the pillows and extra decor or anything like that. So, the last time I saw this, it was, I believe, we were partly through this dividing line here. So I finished out this dividing line, did the collect shiny things, and I started this dividing line. And I believe I did all of that while watching the Pro Women's Hockey League, because that's back on season 2. Season 2. Man, they're going to be playing into, like, what is it, March or April? Is it the whole schedule is out? I'm stoked. I am so stoked. The Man Thing knows that, you know, they talk about hunting widows and football widows and He knows. He knows that I'm just gone. There's no way. He's a widower. He's a hockey widower. As long as there's a game on, especially with women's hockey, because I just like it more than the NHL. Because I've been to way too many NHL games and seen them live, and it's a completely different experience. So he knows I'm just gone. Right. Next, female of the species. I love this one because I get to say unicorn poop a lot. This is by Misanthropic Stitch. It is the female of the species. The fabric is 14 count Ada. The colorway is unicorn poop. And unicorn poop is by Black Dahlia Fabrics, found on Etsy. I just like saying unicorn poop. And yes, I got this fabric specifically so that I could say unicorn poop a lot on YouTube. But I chose the fabric and I went on my Discord. I was like, y'all, look what I found. I found unicorn poop, and everybody needs unicorn poop in their lives, but I need to find a perfect pattern to put on here that's absolutely nothing to do with either unicorns or poop, and it's not friendly or girly, and it should be kind of spooky. And then I went through the patterns that I had saved on Etsy that I wanted to get, and I saw the female of the species, and I said, no, this is the one. This is what's going to happen. So I started it. I am using a mix of Anchor and DMC. And I think I'm just going to finish it as it is. I had some questions because on the contour of her cheek, it looks like a couple of the colors are kind of backwards. So it looks weird right there. But I'm just going to finish it as it is. And if I don't like it, then I'll do it again and actually use the full called for DMCs. And then it has on the pattern, it calls for greens for the lettering. I'm not using green. I am stretching, using, not that one. Excuse me a moment. Go. It's a variegated DMC, but it's like blues and purples. And that's what I'm going to be using for the lettering. It's coming along. It's coming along nicely. I filled in from about the eyeball up. Well, not quite, but yeah, somewhere about in there up. Starting to look like a face. It was not before. Yeah, she's coming along nicely. She's also going to hang on my wall somewhere at some point. I don't know. I'm running out of wall space as it is, just because the place that I live in is about this big. One day. And it feels smaller now. We had to close down the storage unit, so everything feels like it's shrinking. All right, next is Banana Patterns Dark Forest 202. And this is off of Etsy. This was a gift. The pattern was a gift from my friend Eric. And I am using 18 count Ada and all the called for DMC. Doesn't look like I've done a lot, because I don't have a very big start on this. There's only 4,550 stitches in it so far. I'm at 3.05%, but I put in all of the yellows and tans, which is hard to see in this lighting, but there's all of this comes down here, dips down into that area. There's a little splotch up here, and then some over here as well. You'll be able to see it more clearly as I work on this, just because that's some of the light shining through the trees. So it's coming along, Eric. I'm working on it, I promise. And thank you again for buying this for me. And Elisa, I will get started on the graveyard at some point soon-ish. I'm just not sure when. That is going to be one of my planned starts for next year. At some point. I've got a lot of stuff going on already for next year. A couple of not small projects that I'll talk about here in a little bit. Right. This one. It's another one of the stockings. Again, apologies for the glare. I did turn on a couple of lights. It's not really helping much with the lighting, but it's causing more glare. An attempt was made. This is the Snowman and Friends stocking. This is going to be for my mother-in-law. There's not a whole lot. I did get all of, I think the last time we saw it, we were down to about here. So I did get all of that dark blue put in and down here. And I'm starting to fill in some of the lighter colors, like around the moon and stuff as well. It'll get there. It's a work in progress. They call it a work in progress for a reason. This one I did not draw all the way around the stocking yet. I still need to do that. In fact, I'm going to leave it out, and I'm just going to work on this one today. And I'll go ahead and draw all the way around it. Thank you for helping make my decision on what to work on today. I'm not doing a random yoink today. I have something to actually do. That goes on that side. Boom. All right. Okay. Next, we have another one of the Raven Stitchcraft. This is Baba Yaga's Hut. It's not going to look like I did a whole lot of anything, but it went from 79.93% complete to 80.75% complete. It's going to be hard to tell where the changes are just because I'm working in the lighter grays. But on this side is more filled in, more complete. But on this side, I'm starting to get some of the lighter grays filled in on the trees. And you can see the difference between, like, well, you can see the difference between these trees and this one. This one is actually where I stopped with filling in some of the lighter grays. I've got, there's two different colors of light grays going into these. These three have the first one put in. This one does not. So I've got to come back with the second lighter gray on these three, do both of them here, and then go up the wing. And we've still got all of, well, I've got a solid chunk in the middle that needs to be done, but those are more the lighter grays. I believe I'm completely finished with the black. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to double check. But I believe I'm completely finished with the black. And this is being done on 16 count Ada, and just with the called for DMC, just 2/1. I obviously did not get this one completed by the end of October. Obviously, maybe next year. We as stitchers all know that. Can I get it done? I think I can. The answer is usually no. Stop doing that to ourselves. Do we like doing that to ourselves? Not really. Are we going to keep doing it anyway? Absolutely. What is this time management thing? No. No. And the last project I have, oops, one more fold. Last project I have to show you that I worked on is the third stocking that I have started. This is one that I just sat down and I've been working on for days because it's what happened. I have nothing else to tell you. It's just what happened. I think it's that I just really, really want to have some sort of a finish. And I haven't in quite a while. So this is the last stocking that I've been working on. This is the skating stocking. This is the only one that is not a dimensions gold. It's a standard dimensions, not a dimensions gold. And this is the one that I'm doing for myself. It's also the first one I started. I started it before I knew who was getting which stocking. But I've gotten quite a bit done on this guy. Look at that. You can actually see the stocking shape in stitches. Woo! So I have completed a large portion of the houses down here, completely finished the sky and the moon and the back stitch up there around the sleigh with the little sparklies and the reindeer. Let's get you a little bit of a close-up there. And I have put in a lot of the decorations, the different trees and wreaths and stuff down here. And from about, well, no. Did I have that tree in the last time I showed this to you? I don't know. No, I didn't, because I just did that last night. I've got one sweater of a person walking by right there. So I've gotten all of this. Part of this was complete over here on the toe, but basically from here down is what I worked on. It's getting there. It's getting there. That's one that I obviously put the most work into because it was sitting on my desk. When I finished for the day, I didn't toss it into the bag of, this is what I've worked on. So I kept working on it. Oh my goodness. All right. So that's the stitching that I have completed. What do I have? I have no haul. None. That I'm ready to show. Okay. So. No, I showed the silk. I think I showed the silk in the one that I had to delete or take down because the audio was just awful. I apologize for that, by the way. Thank you again, Laura, for letting me know so that I could replace that with the stitch along. But I did get all of the goodies for the Haid sale for next year. which I am doing, and I'm doing I need to finish my first cup of coffee. It's 11 o'clock. I am doing the Garden of Earthly Delights by Hieronymus Bosch, which, for those of you who actually know me well, you're probably laughing your heads off if you know who Bosch is. Bosch is well known for his depiction of what happens in heaven and what happens in hell, basically. And the Garden of Earthly Delights, he was just weird dude, weird art, and it's amazing. But that's the one that I'm going to be doing. I do have everything. I know what my Christmas present from the Man Thing is because he handed me money and said, "Here, buy yourself something." It's right there. It's the joys of being an adult is being able to do things like buy horrible shiny octopus wrapping paper for Christmas. They have little Santa hats on. It's Christmas wrapping paper, I promise. But this is my present from him to me, and it is a hoop holder or a hoop stand that you sit on. So I'll be able to actually work on that. I'm going to be doing tent stitch. So that's my plan for that. And I will be starting as soon as the chart is released because I want to get the whole thing done. My goal is to complete the whole thing. If I do 1,000-ish stitches a week on it, I should be able to get it done. And if things keep going as they are, sorry about the jiggle, if things keep going as they are, I tend to do about 1,000 stitches per day. So even if I sit down like one day on the weekend, if I get a job, when I get a job, I don't know. Still not working. So when I get to the point where I'm working and don't have as much time, even just sitting down and working on it for a couple of hours on weekend, I should be able to get 1,000 stitches in every week. So I'll be able to do that. Also, starting January 4th, I'm going to be working on this. This is the Sally Kratos sampler. And January 4th is my spawning day. For those of you who were asking and I was refusing to tell because it's a secret, except for it's not a secret. One shoulders would have another. Cool. But my birthday and my spawning day is January 4th. So starting on January 4th, I am hosting a spawning sal. Because I wasn't birthed, I was spawned. It's a running joke. And for this year, I'd like people to help me build a house. So anything with a house on it, build a house with me. Which is why I picked the Sally Kratos. Because it's got a big old house. And one of my goals is to start saving enough, get out of debt enough and start saving enough to eventually get a house. Because living in an apartment is just not okay at this point. Well, living in this apartment. I'm going to make a whole separate video kind of going through what life is like. If you don't want to watch it, absolutely don't. That's entirely up to you. But yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so I've got those two coming up in the new year. Also, Beth, the Steadfast Stitcher. I was watching her latest video and I asked in the comments if cryptids counted as animals, and she's like, yes, that would be amazing, do it, basically. She is just as much as an enabler as all of the rest of us. You can quote me on that 100%. So I have plans. If I can find it again, I'm going to put a picture up here, but basically there was a stitch along a few years ago and I got all the patterns in a bundle. And it's Cryptid Christmas. So it's both for the birthday ornament stitch along and for the birthday animal stitch along. And because they're ornaments, and I was told cryptids count as animals, so that's happening. I'm going to go ahead and start those, not today, because I'm working on the stocking today. Maybe tomorrow. I've got everything. It's kitted. I just haven't started them because I wasn't in the mood to. Just didn't happen. So those are plans. That's happening. What else do we have going on? Nothing in the cross stitch world that I know of. So I'm just going to continue my habit at this point of yoinking a random project to work on from my little cube of works in progress and things that need started. And I'm going to keep plugging along. As far as life stuff update, also, if all you were here for is the stitching stuff, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love y'all. And I hope to see you next time. For those of you interested in life updates, there's a lot, but like I said, I'm going to be doing a separate video also at some point on a bunch of the life stuff. So I'm going to stick to the much more positive stuff. You can see we've got a Christmas tree and it's up. It's actually a live tree this year. And we got it on sale. It's a little guy. It's like standing on a table. It's a little 3-foot tree. But we got it on sale. They were priced at, I think, $35 or just like $30, something like that. And we got it for $20. Brought it in and put it up. Tilts a little bit, but that's okay. It's been standing for a couple of weeks now. I spent a couple days ago, I think it was Monday, I spent all day making candy. The other half is diabetic, man thing is diabetic, so I made sugar-free hard candy for the first time, and it was so much easier actually than making full sugar hard candy. Blew my mind. So I tried to make candy canes. It did not work very well. It was so laughable, and I was so proud of myself. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I put a picture up. They were awful. But for the first time trying to make candy canes, turned out okay-ish, in a very terrible way. I laughed at myself so hard. It was great. But I made the hard candies, and then I was like, you know what? I haven't made Divinity in probably 20 years. And I know I have everything to make Divinity, so I made a huge batch of Divinity. And I sent some, the next day I sent some to work with the man thing, and he came back from work. He's like, everybody was afraid to eat it. They didn't know what it was. I kept telling them just to stick it in their head. Put it in your head. Put it in your head. And as soon as they did, they would go, oh my God, this is amazing. Because it's Divinity. And if you like Divinity, you like Divinity. If you don't like Divinity, then that means there's more for me. So, but I did make a big old batch of Divinity. It's been cool enough. The highs have been like in the 60s instead of in the 80s. It's a high of 71 today, and it's going to be climbing. It's supposed to be 77, 78 again later in the week, and then it's supposed to drop again on, I think, next Thursday, about a week from now. So I made a pot of chili, which is very nice to have during cold weather or cooler weather. It's not cold. I had the windows open, all two windows open. We literally have two windows that will open. And I had a fan put up in one of them because the low was like 41 degrees last night, and I wanted all the cool air to come in so that the air conditioner wouldn't have to run as much today. Living in Florida, y'all. Living in Florida. I've been busy making Christmas presents this year. So the other part of my channel which is like doing the clothing and stuff. That's kind of been put on hold because I've been quilting a lot of things. I'm doing quilted pillow covers and a tree skirt, and we've got a couple of other things like some pot holders and things like that, because I'm having to do everything from stash this year. Because of reasons. Well, honestly, because I'm still not working, which I mentioned earlier. I'm still looking. I have had a couple of interviews. I found out that the museum job was actually out of the museum director's hands, and they hired somebody while he was on a 3-week vacation. So he was completely cut out of the hiring process. And the person that they hired is actually 20 hours a week at the museum, 20 hours a week at the main branch of the library, which is local to me. So that didn't go through as planned, but I'm still looking. Things are still up in the air. I should actually be hearing back theoretically either today or tomorrow from another optional workplace. So fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. Right. Cool. And those are basically my life updates. Yeah, that's I've been keeping busy. I had mentioned earlier we had to close down the storage unit. So the last few weeks I ended up not posting a video because I did not stop to sit down long enough to put a video together because of the storage unit thing. We got rid of about half of what was in there just because there's no room in this apartment for it, and he can't store anything at his parents' place. There's storage there, but you can't store anything there. So we got rid of about half of what we had in there, and the rest is being consolidated and put away, and trying to find places that are not the middle of the floor for everything is difficult. I can't say we live because he doesn't live here, but he does everything except for live here, basically. But for legal reasons. This place is under 900 square feet, so it's a little rough, but that's okay. We're getting by. It's happening. Let's go. Can't quit. Anyway, I think today I'm going to work on stocking. I'm going to put the laptop up. I'm going to put up the folding table that the laptop is sitting on, because I thought maybe this would work a little bit better because of a little light coming in from the window. Evidently it did not. But I got to show you the Christmas tree and the swords. So I guess that's something. I think maybe I'll put on a movie. Maybe watch some YouTube and stitch a while. That sounds like a good thing to do today. So on that note, thank you all so very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all, love your faces, and I hope to see you next time.